Hello, everyone, and welcome to Project Titan, Wall Street Analysis Season 1, Episode 2. I'm Ananya but I'm using Saket's account today. We will be discussing the headlines of the past few days. Our main source for this project is the Wall Street Journal. So let's begin. Our first headline today is Fed cuts interest rates by a quarter point. The Federal Reserve approved a quarter point interest rate cut Thursday, but signaled a little more uncertainty over how quickly it would continue lowering rates, as it seeks to prevent large rate increases of the prior 2.5 years from unnecessarily slowing the economy. At a news conference after the meeting, Chair Jerome Powell said the election wouldn't have any effect on the Fed's immediate policy decisions. He also reaffirmed his intention to stay at the Fed until his 4-year term as chair expires in May 2026. He said he wouldn't step down if President-elect Donald Trump asked him to resign. Asked if he thought a president could remove him or other senior personnel from their positions before their terms end, Powell repeated his long-standing view that uncharacteristically terse answer, not permitted under the law. This is the federal funds rate target, including Thursday's cut. Moving on. This is the markets on Friday, 11/8, November 2024. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, it'll show the S&P 500 index and the Nasdaq Composite Index. We'll start with the Dow Jones Industrial Average. 43729.34, it went down 0.59 or 0.001%. S&P 500 index 5973.10, it went up 44.06 or 0.74%. Nasdaq Composite Index 1926.9.46, it went up 285.99 or 1.51%. That is all. S&P 500, S&P and Nasdaq rise as rates get cut. Stocks climbed to records Thursday as investors still celebrate Donald Trump's election victory, got another rate cut from the Federal Reserve. The central bank received a widely anticipated quarter percentage point cut Thursday afternoon, building on its half-point cut in September, coupled with the prospect of tax cuts and lighter regulation under a Republican president. Many investors see an environment in which stocks can continue to run. You have the potential for stronger economic and profit growth. At the same time, the Fed is becoming more friendly on the monetary policy front, said David Donabedian, Chief Investment Officer of CIBC Private Wealth US. The S&P 500 rose in morning trading and held the most steady after the rate cut announcement. The broad US stock index gained 0.7%, extending its 2024 advance to 25%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite climbed 1.5%, both indexes ending at records. S&P 500, 5,995.54, 22.544 or 0.388%. It went up 19,286.78. It went up 17.32 or 0.09%. Moving on. Niccol plans to make changes to Starbucks. In late summer, a customer started showing up at Los Angeles area Starbucks cafes at all hours of the day, quizzing baristas about their favorite drinks to make or problems with how the store operated. That customer, Brian Niccol, is now Starbucks Chief Executive Officer, and he is moving quickly to change the ways customers experience the world's largest coffee chain as it struggles to draw customers. In less than 2 months in the role, Niccol has pushed to focus Starbucks operations, trimming menu items and paring back discounts. Instead, Niccol is giving priority to delivering quality coffee quickly and accurately with friendly service. particularly in the mornings when the chain needs to shine. This is the Starbucks new layup plan. Baristas can write customers' names on the cup, and two, baristas can hand beverages directly to customers. Three, customers can add condiments themselves at a self-service bar, and non-dairy creamers will be free. And to add more comfy seating, TSMC Tech found Wise AI chip. Some of the world's most guarded semiconductor technology has ended up in China's Huawei technology, new artificial intelligence chips, showing the limit of the US broad attempt to thwart such hardware linkups. Core circuitry produced by Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co. was found in Huawei's Ascend 910B chips. According to people familiar with the matter and tech insights, a Canada-based research firm that conducts product teardowns, which have hit Washington's radar before. The Huawei AI chips is one of the China's top homegrown alternatives to NVIDIA's high-end offerings that remain off limits to buyers in China. Some of the tech originates from TSMC, the world's largest contract chip manufacturer, whose market capitalization of roughly $1 trillion exceeds that of Tesla and Walmart. The Toyota cuts forecast after weaker sales. Toyota Motor cut its annual forecast for group vehicle sales after its second quarter profit more than half, due partly to weaker sales globally. The Japanese auto giant said Wednesday that net profit dropped 55% from a year earlier to 573.7 billion yen, equivalent to $3.78 billion for the 3 months ended September 30th, that widely missed the 1.011 trillion yen estimate in a poll of analysts by data provider Quick. The car maker now expects group vehicle sales to fall 2.2% to 10.85 million units this fiscal year, compared with its previous view of 1.3% decline. Second quarter group vehicle sales volume dropped 3.8% to 2.74 million as a result of lower sales across various regions, despite the company's higher sales of gasoline electric hybrid cars. UPS and FedEx rivalry grows as holidays near. FedEx and United Parcel Service are escalating their rivalry, competing for parcel volume from some of their smallest customers ahead of a challenging holiday season. The stakes are high. Thanksgiving is later this year than last year, shortened by 5 days. The peak shipping period from Black Friday to December 31st, and the total volume of holiday season packages is expected to continue its decline. After peaking in 2021 during the pandemic, UPS and FedEx, which began offering discounts to larger customers than last year, are now aggressively chasing smaller customers, giving them breaks that are typically reserved for bulk shippers. Until recently, it was unheard of for shippers with less than $500,000 in annual shipping expenses to get a break on fuel surcharges. For example, said Robert Perswitt, an executive at ShipMatrix, a shipping consulting firm. Now he said, no customer is too small to be considered for discounts. Review Moving on. Rivian on track to get profit despite shortage. Electric vehicle startup Rivian Automotive said Thursday that a part shortage in the third quarter hampered factory production, but is still on track to report its first ever gross profit by the year's end. In a letter to shareholders, Rivian said it was working with the supplier to resolve the shortage and said higher selling prices and lower manufacturing costs helped to offset a slowdown in vehicle deliveries. Rivian has long promised that it would achieve achieve a gross profit in the fourth quarter of this year, despite previously losing tens of thousands of dollars on every vehicle it sold ahead on Thursday's earnings disclosure. Some analysts had expected the supply chain disruption to cause Rivian to delay its profitability target. The company said that its profit goal will be aided by the sale of regulatory credits to other automakers that are failing to emissions restrictions. Rivian expects to sell $300 million worth of credits for the full year, which approximately $275 million will come in the fourth quarter. This is Rivian's quarterly free cash flow. Trump tax, moving on, Trump tax cuts help markets. For stock markets, the short-term and long-term outcomes of the Trump trade won't be necessarily the same. So far, President-elect Donald Trump's victory Tuesday has been positively received by investors, as was the case in 2016. The S&P 500 rose 2.5% to a record close Wednesday, buoyed by Trump's stated intentions to, among other tax cuts, take the corporate tax rate from 21% to 15% for companies that manufacture in the US in 2018 after Trump's first round of tax reductions came into effect. The S&P 500's earnings per share jumped by 21%, compared with an 11% increase in the previous year. Much might depend on whether the Republicans win majority control in the House, but some Wall Street analysts think a new wave of tax cuts could boost EPS somewhere between 5% and 10%. This is S&P's earnings per share with Trump's tax cuts included. That is all for the Wall Street analysis.